Hey there, it's Wade Bergner here. I am here to give the best of myself in hopes that I can provide you with content that adds a level of fulfillment or guides you towards fulfillment in your life. Today, I'd like to talk about a book that I've been reading and have completed called The One Thing. It's by Gary Keller. The One Thing is speaking about the one area of your life that really lights you up, that really you feel so alive when you're involved in it that you lose track of time, and it just catapults you into a different state. The one thing I want to ask you before I even get into the book is, would you seek advice from your 18-year-old self or your 90-year-old self? The answer to me is pretty clear. Go to the end result. Find out what maybe you could have did better. The knowledge is there. I went so far as to look at a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. It's not a real easy read because it's a lot of regret, a lot of things that people just didn't take the initiative to do. And there's two very strong points within that book that I'd like to share with you. One of them's a theme, the other's a quote. The theme was that measuring their lives is done, you can't really measure it. For one person, it's different than the other person. But the strongest point within that book was an underlying theme in a majority of the people that shared their regrets were, I'd wished I'd had the courage to live the life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That I thought was really powerful to hear that on such an ongoing basis, and to think that they get to the end of their physical world and to have that thought go through their mind. That's a gift to us to know, hey, let's live the I'm glad I did life rather than get to the end and have those thoughts go through our mind. When we talk about the one thing, it's a balancing act. When you have something that you're focusing on, big picture, it's going to not be in balance because everything's about that one. Well, life doesn't work that way. The goal is to find a way back to that primary focus of yours. So if you take 2 steps to the right, you've got commitments to family, to work, to relation, whatever it might be, to your community. Focus on them when you go, but always bring yourself back. Be 100%, but bring yourself back. The one misunderstanding that they focus on in the One Thing book is this catchphrase of multitasking. Get more done if I'm multitask. Well, the statistics have shown that 28% of our time is wasted because of this continued reorienting that the brain has to do when it gets distracted and has to come back. 16% of all fatal traffic events are because of this multitasking on your phone, texting, or just interacting in a way that's taking away from the focus of what you're doing at the current moment. One thought that stuck with me also was, why would we ever tolerate multitasking when we're doing our most important work, our one thing? Does a pilot, does a surgeon, aren't we just as important to them? Isn't the thing that's important to us just as important as what they're working on? Keep that in mind as you go forward. There's 5 points that I like to bring to your attention when you once determine the one thing. One, a blocking system. A blocking system is when you put together a schedule. You put the things that you want to accomplish during the day, time blocks of those particular things. And within those time blocks are categories. You could go to a number of different categories. For me, I go with 3 different categories. One is highlighted in yellow. It's called masterminding. Finding people that you want to learn from that are doing the things that you want to do and blocking the time. So you're building that knowledge and that mindset of what's that person like? What are they doing on a daily basis? What are they involved in? And bringing yourself closer to that end result of yours. The second area would be highlighted in blue, and that would be some training things that you're doing. Things that you're doing outside of those conversations that maybe you discussed with the masterminding group or individuals. And 3 would be money or revenue generating, and I highlight that in green. Activities that are going to generate revenue for your one big thing. The second area is create your own bunker. That might be your desk. That might be your office area. It might be going to a coffee shop. It's a spot where you are not distracted. You're not distracted by phones. You're not distracted by emails. You're not distracted by kids or dogs. Could be anything. Noises. Find a bunker. Number 3, start a new habit. Start a new habit. It takes an average of 66 days to create a long-term habit. If you can do this, these habits will become ingrained and again push you in the direction of your goals. Number 4 would be to add breaks. All great decisions begin when you start and they slowly drop off. Your goal is to try to stay as high as you can, but it's clinically proven that at the start of the day, when you head into work or being at the end of the day, you're at a high point, and as the day goes down to lunchtime, it diminishes, and then after lunch you're back. So it has to do with food, yes, but it also has to do with the momentum that you're creating at the time. And number 5 is to create a could and should do list. When you put together the things to do list, categorize them. What should I do? What could I do? What should I do? Should take priority, of course. I'd like to kind of close out with a story that they shared. I believe it's within the One Thing book. It might have been within another one I've been reading. But it's about a father whose son came to him. Maybe he's 7, 8 years old. And he said, "Dad, I don't see you enough. I want to play with you. And I miss you." And the dad felt real, warm inside and sad that he hasn't been able to spend time. And he said, "Tomorrow, I'm going to spend all day with you." And the kid was so excited. And so he went to bed, and the dad woke up a little early because he wanted to read the newspaper. Tried to sneak there and figure he'd get that in, and then he'd be ready to go. Well, when he got up and started to read the newspaper, even before he got a chance to sit down, his son was there ready to go. And so the dad said, "Well, let me finish reading." And he kind of pestered, and the dad said he came up with an idea. He remembered seeing in the newspaper that there was a picture of the world on one of the pages. So he said, "I've got a project for you. Once you're done with that project, then the rest of the day together." So the dad cut it up, maybe 20, 30 pieces, just snipped it up with the scissors and put it on a glass countertop and left him some tape. And then he went back to read. And the son was excited. The dad was excited because he's going to get a chance to get his reading in. And by the time Dad didn't even get through the first section of the newspaper, the son comes over. He's like, "Dad, I've got it done. I've got it done." And Dad's like, turns around and he sees it's completely done. He said, how did you get that done so quick? And he said, Dad, it was very hard, but when I flipped over the picture of the world, the pieces, there's a man. There's pieces of the man, and I taped the man together and flipped it over, and it made the world. So I know it kind of gives me goosebumps when I hear that story, but I thought it'd be something that you might want to hear as well. So as you go through your day, let's live the I'm glad I did life. So have a great day. Until tomorrow. Thank you.